got nothing to do with being brave, applying for raw comedy. It's more to do with just not thinking about it, applying and then dealing with it when it becomes a reality. That's pretty much how I've lived my entire life. So today I'm talking about being a hypochondriac. I'm a very good one because I'm an ex-nurse, and that gives me, it gives me enough information to be able to convince people very easily that I am unwell.
Put your hands together for Trish Hurley!
It's such a relief to be here. I was worried I wasn't going to make it. I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. For those of you who don't know what a hypochondriac is, it's someone who's always diagnosing themselves with fatal illnesses. They never die. People just wish they would. I woke up this morning, of all mornings, with a sore throat and a runny nose. I thought that'd be right. Here we go again. Throat cancer. I've been a hypochondriac since the 80s. Back then it was like belonging to an exclusive club. In order to gain access to this club, you needed three things. You needed enough knowledge to be paranoid about your health, but not enough to be accurate. It's a very fine line. You needed parents who were inattentive, or as they were known back then, parents. And you needed just a hint, a smidge, a whiff of mental illness. I'm an ex-nurse with daddy issues and a tendency towards Munchausen's by proxy. So I'm nailing it. I don't understand why the general public has so much faith in ex-nurses, but they do. They love us. I haven't been registered for 20 years. Even when I was a nurse, there's nothing to say I was a good nurse. It doesn't stop my elderly neighbour from showing me those pesky ulcers that just won't heal. I just tut and nod along and say things like, "Pull your pants up, Stanley. You'll catch a chill here in the driveway." Have you ever noticed how hypochondriacs are always diagnosing themselves with something unusual or extreme? It's always an aneurysm or a bowler. They're never going to pull you aside to tell you about their recent battle with constipation. There's other things you'll never hear a hypochondriac say. Things like, "Fine, thanks, how are you?" Or, "What? This little scratch? It's not worth mentioning." The main thing you'll never hear a hypochondriac say is, "Here are all my friends." You can't blame the hypochondriac, though. We have to be fussy when it comes to friends. For instance, you may be surprised to know that very gullible people are exhausting for a hypochondriac. There's nothing worse than someone getting so upset about your potential kidney failure that you have to reassure them that you're full of shit and can't be trusted. I know what you're thinking. She's lonely. Well, that's hurtful and only partly true. I do have a few friends in the audience. They're all a compatible blood type. One's a bone marrow match. I like to take a few with me everywhere I go. If you're a nurse or a doctor and you are not paranoid about your health, there's something seriously wrong with you. I'm not saying that you have to be a healthcare professional to be a hypochondriac, not at all. I mean, it's useful, but now we have the internet, any fool can be one. The internet's a double-edged sword for the hypochondriac. It's great we have it. Not so great everybody else does. Especially the fact checkers. Fact checkers are the number one enemy of the hypochondriac. My son's a fact checker. I told him about my recent bout of meningitis. He responded not by sitting me down and bringing me a cup of tea, but by Googling something, then demanding proof of a purple blotchy rash. Lucky for me, one of the first signs of meningitis is irritability. The hard thing about hypochondriacs is that they place an unnecessary burden on our healthcare system. I have an idea that will help free up our emergency departments and simultaneously support the arts. I propose we build a parallel organisation called the Placebo Health System, where all the nurses, doctors and allied health professionals are played by characters from Neighbours. There'd be nothing like a miraculous recovery when you hear Susan announce, "Hold tight, honey, this is Toadie. He'll be playing the role of your gynaecologist today." Thank you. I've been Trish Hurley. Thank you.